Welcome back, everyone. We're the cast of The Spectrum Show, or at least two of the cast of The Spectrum Show, and for our next review...
Spencer, we're not calling it that. It's Earth 199999.
Yeah, no, I don't know why it's that way in the prompter, but we're taking a trip back to Earth 199999. It's 4 nines, right?
No, it's 59.
59, whatever. To discuss Marvel Television's next entry under the Marvel Spotlight banner. That, of course, being Wonder Man. So, Jackson, what's your spectrum of opinions?
I'm going to open this up by saying it's profoundly uncomfortable seeing Eric Williams be a normal and well-adjusted human being.
Well, here's the thing. We're the only one who cares enough about Eric Williams as a character to even make that observation.
And we don't even care about him that much.
Yeah, no, because he's just a chump in everything except EMH.
Yep.
And I guess this...
He's pretty cool in this. I like him in this.
Like, you know, he's a bit of a jerk, but like, you know, the jerk,
like
you know, every
he's
day.
like a reasonable jerk.
Okay,
you know?
Getting on topic, Wonder Man, we have the comics here, but truth be told, it's nothing, they're nothing like this. Wonder Man is really, I know that like this might come across as pejorative, and I swear that I don't mean it this way. Wonder Man is not a superhero show. It is a dramedy that takes place in a world that has superheroes in it.
You know what it kind of gives me the vibes of?
What?
It feels like a successful version of what DC tried to do with Powerless, which was one of their network shows back when they were putting out a bunch.
Well, I see what you mean there.
They did have the brighter idea in this to have like they had more budget in this obviously, and also like the focus on an actual superpowered individual. But I feel like kind of the idea of like normal things in our world, how they adjust to the prevalence of superpowered individuals, is kind of in the same vein as what that show tried to do. Which I
understand that. In this case, the show follows a struggling actor named Simon Williams as he tries to land the role of a lifetime, his dream role of his favorite character from his favorite movie, Wonder Man. And he has a surprising ally in his corner. He has Trevor Slattery, who, if you haven't seen Iron Man 3 or Shang-Chi, was the fake Mandarin who...
He was a British actor who was hired to pretend to be a Middle Eastern terrorist as part of the plot of Iron Man 3.
And, yeah, no, was hired by Aldrich Killian, who I can't remember who even played that guy, but it doesn't matter.
Then he was kidnapped by the real, quote-unquote, Mandarin, a.k.a. Zhu Wenwu, the main villain of Shang-Chi.
And now he's helping out Simon Williams, but the truth of the matter is that he is actually, he has struck out a deal with the Department of Damage Control, and he basically has to they suspect Simon of being a superpowered individual, and thanks to the doorman clause, superpowered individuals aren't allowed to work in Hollywood. But Trevor basically finds himself connecting with Simon, and there's all sorts of great drama coming out of that.
I know Damage Control has been around in the MCU for a little bit now. I know they're in Ms. Marvel. They have a small part in No Way Home, of all things.
But I feel like...
It feels like this is the first time we've really gotten to solidify what they are, and I really like how they handled
Ms. Marvel was juggling a lot with, like, you know... What were they even called? It was...
They were like, kind of that Alan Davis team. Yeah, I forget what they were.
It was another pun, right?
Yeah, I don't remember the name.
I'm not even gonna...
I don't even really care to look it up, really. It's just...
Yeah, no, but...
No, Clandestine!
The Clandestines, right. Like,
yeah.
Oh, my God. Yeah, but so here, Damage Control is front and center, and because, like, it's a more low to the ground, like, you know, personal series about ostensibly regular people... Like they actually get to shine as a threat here.
I feel like Damage Control is. Do we know they're in Brand New Day? Or
I don't know. Sure everything about that movie changes every other day.
I wouldn't be surprised if they are in Brand New Day, considering Cretton is involved in both this and that.
Either way, I wanna.
And it seems like they're setting it up with in adjacency to Spider-Man through No Way Home already.
Either way, I wanna. We've gone on a lot of tangents, but I want to center the discussion. This is a really good show.
Yeah, it is a really good show.
And a lot of that really is down to the, you know, bromance between Simon and Trevor. It's just two really strong performers getting to flex their chops. And honestly, yeah, the fact that it is a very low to the ground series makes it, you know, like the novelty at least is refreshing.
I've said this to other people when I was talking with them, but I feel like if they ended up revealing at some point that this Simon is a mutant, I wouldn't have any objections to it.
Yeah, no.
Because this show feels very much in line with... It feels like
mutant coded.
Yeah, it's Andrew Guest and Destin Daniel Cretton kind of engaging with the metaphor without saying it out loud, you know? Because, like, the whole restricted from acting...
I get that.
Kind of fits with the same kind of theming Who Framed Roger Rabbit did with,
the Toons.
Yeah, how the Toons are essentially a representative of Hollywood's, like, exploited black performers.
You know, I remember, like, there was a TikTok once where some guy suggested something like, you know, the MCU has so much potential in just telling stories in the universe, not about superheroes, and, like, you know, something like a story about a pastor, like, you know, coming to terms with his faith in the light of Asgardians being real. And people ridiculed him at the time. But, you know, I feel like, you know, this at least demonstrates that concept is actually workable.
I feel like it really needs to be, like, the specific kind of focus on it. And I feel like Simon and Trevor in this case were a really good thing to center it on.
Oh, yeah, no, they're really great. And I'm happy to say that Trevor Slattery might be top 5, if not like top 3, like MCU original characters at this point.
I forgot to ask you, who would you consider the others?
I mean, like, a lot of people really like, what's Clark Gregg's character?
Oh, Agent Coulson.
Yeah, Coulson.
Yeah. I keep forgetting he's an MCU original.
Yeah, there's probably a few others there. I can't recall them off the top of my head, but Coulson's
yeah, Trevor
one of them.
is. I really like Trevor, like, a lot.
We didn't know how good we had it back when Shane Black gave us Iron Man 3.
I mean, I'm glad that the concept has been expanded by people who aren't Shane Black. So,
I mean, I like the nice guys.
Yeah, but he
he's a
also
decent
made that
filmmaker.
one Predator movie that
we're not talking about.
Yeah, we're
that.
not going to get into that.
All right, but
I really like about this is Cretton's direction. I feel like a lot of this show, there's some really good, like, distinctive shots in this that stood out to me.
You know, it looks like, you know, it does. I know, like, a lot of people, like, don't really like how, you know, desaturated the MCU looks, but at least this one has the excuse that it's ostensibly set more in line with, you know, real people.
Weirdly enough, it kind of reminds me of how Ironheart's desaturation worked for me. Like, that show.
I still haven't seen that one, honestly.
You need to watch Ironheart; it's really good. But yeah, I think 2 shots that really stood out to me on the watch through were the ending, the start of episode 8, for one, set to the theme from the OC, California. Oh. The shot specifically with Simon in the car is a really nicely done one. And my other favorite thing is more of a comedic bit. It's them running off to the car for, like, the thing, cutting to them.
Yeah, no, when, like, they get the call back, and, like, Simon's agent is like, he's doing the callback now, right?
Yeah, and, like, do you have Trevor's asking, do you have super speed?
Honestly, one thing there are actually some neat little Easter eggs in this. Like, I pointed out that bit where there's a lot of references to, like, you know, other Hollywood actors, other productions. People talk, like, a bunch of people know a bunch of other real people. One guy shows up and he's like an actor who got a big break because he was Paul Thomas Anderson's surf instructor who got hired.
Trevor Slattery is in series reference to play roles that Ben Kingsley played in real life.
Yeah, no, he mentioned specific episode of, like, I don't know, it's not Downton Abbey, it's Coronation Street.
Coronation Street.
Like, specific episodes and a specific character that Ben Kingsley himself played in those episodes. And you even see, like, one of Simon's audition tapes for a song from Disney's Zombies.
When I learned that was a reference to Zombies, I was stun-locked for, like, a full minute.
And in the middle of all this, they have a great standalone episode that also just so happens to be kind of its own, you know, self-contained story.
Oh, yeah. Doorman is a really good self-contained episode. I really like it.
You know, it tells the story of DeMar Doorman Davis. And I'm not going to let you have that one.
Yeah. Ding dong.
Yeah, who basically finds himself thrust into the spotlight and accidentally maybe or maybe not kills Josh Gad.
God.
Actual Josh Gad playing himself Josh Gad.
I like how I'm amazed at how much they got Josh Gad to agree to with this show, including doing, like, an expletive written version of "Summertime" from Frozen, and basically saying on camera, "I've never been a good actor, and that hasn't stopped me."
I think I read somewhere that he's actually a big MCU fan and agreed to this under the condition he'll get to play an actual character at some point.
Oh, I can't wait to see who he gets to be.
Honestly, I do kind of appreciate that, like, usually when you think Josh Gad, you think Olaf's voice, but, you know, and, like, I feel like that's sort of the public appearance he's fostered, but here it really isn't that. Like,
I like how he's leaning into a bit more of, like, Book of Mormon in a sense, which is directly referenced in the show, even. Like, they make a little note about, like, this Mormon's found the new something. Yeah.
I mean, that was just like that one daytime variety show that just kept making stupid puns about his movie.
I really
rules.
like that. I
think that's a real guy, right?
I think it is a real guy.
Wasn't
I really
it Mario
like that.
Lopez?
Yeah, Mario Lopez. I like that guy. I like that guy.
Yeah, no, there's a lot of references to, like, Hollywood stuff. And, you know, you could argue that maybe it doesn't get mean enough, that in some ways it's reverential of Hollywood's ability to lift people up. But at the end of I do think it's very funny how they leaned into superhero fatigue in the marketing for this, and yet it isn't discussed at all in the show. I'm refreshed with that.
Yeah, I feel like that's I feel that was like genuinely a genuine positive.
Yeah,
for me.
no, like, because if you were gonna like really hammer home the superhero fatigue stuff as a thematic point here, it would have felt like too much like a dated clapback.
Yeah. In this, I do like in this that it's actually, the point is just we don't need to focus on that. We're going to focus on the actual impact superhero cinema can have and how it can change people.
And, you know, like, I do like that one of the central thematic ideas is that Simon isn't defined by his powers, that he is, you know, a holistic person. He's a regular guy. He's flawed. He makes mistakes in his career. And everyone keeps, like, for everyone else, his powers are, like, the most important thing about him. But the show, the basic thesis statement of the show is that, like, it's only one part of him.
Yeah, exactly.
And I think, you know, maybe that's its own meta statement about the show and its place in the greater MCU.
Not getting into too much current events, but man, damage control is a very blatant metaphor.
Yeah, there's a metaphor there.
There's a lot.
There's a very timely metaphor there.
Like even as this show was mostly being made before 2026, you can tell.
Yeah, no, and I really appreciate that Marvel has genuinely stuck it out with Trevor as a character, because, like, people hated this character.
Oh yeah, people hated this. I'm thinking about the
and, like, Shang-Chi only really turned him around because that had the real Mandarin in it.
And the real Mandarin was cool as hell.
Yeah, but now, like, here they are, where he's basically one of the main characters, irrespective of, like, most of the Mandarin baggage, and people really dig him now. And I think that's kind of beautiful.
I like how
I've said this to you. Al, I'm sorry. You can.
Yeah, say your thing first.
I said this to you, but if you had told me back when a year or so after Iron Man 3 had come out, that, like, a decade or so down the line, they were going to release a Wonder Man show where Trevor Slattery was one of the main characters, and I would absolutely adore him, and it would be a very beloved MCU thing. It seems to be pretty beloved right now.
Oh, it's very beloved.
I would have, like, laughed in your face, called you a liar, and told you to get the hell out of there.
Oh, man. I do also really like how Simon's powers are portrayed in this show. Even we just went on the tangent about, like, it's not.
They're very budget smart with how they.
I really like. They managed to get some really impactful shots out of it, and I appreciate them.
Yeah, no, and they don't have to, like, and, you know, even though, like, they don't have to blow their budget on most of this show because there isn't much action at all, really.
When the budget is used, it's really good for, like, the SFX scenes. Like, I love just kind of the rattling effect it leaves. I love the big hole in his wall left after the freak out we see in episode 1.
Honestly, I mean, a bunch of the budget probably went to I don't know exactly how much location shooting was done in LA, but there were, like, a bunch of recognizable locations. They absolutely were, and maybe that's what ate up the money.
Oh yeah, they definitely, and they still managed to use their money well enough regardless of that, which is really impressive.
Yeah, no, this is a good-looking show.
Yeah, this looks consistently. I find it funny that I enjoy Von Kovac in this as a performance way more than the one in Superman.
I do like how they kind of leaned in the marketing towards maybe, like, oh, is this going to be an Insidious? Like, they lean into that it's the last movie anyone's ever going to make.
We're
Stuff is
wrapping it up.
maybe a
Okay,
villain thing, but
we're
no,
almost-
it's just kind of a misdirection. The whole thing's about making movies.
He's just like an
Yeah.
eccentric but well-meaning guy who likes
Yeah.
he likes his job.
Yeah. Anyway, final thoughts. This is like a strong 8 to a 9 for me.
I feel like this is a 9 for me. Yeah, I really enjoyed
Yeah,
this.
no, and if you want to get your Wonder Man, he's in this Kurt Busiek Avengers run. He's got this whole saga trade. He's in Avengers No Surrender and West Coast.
This is actually probably the closest run we can recommend right now, since most of it does take place in California.
You want more Doorman? Go find any Great Lakes Avengers stuff.
We also recommend the Dan Slott run, though I don't think either of us own it.
Damage Control for Damage Control. And since none of this is really thematically related to the show, if you want something about a struggling artist in a competitive industry, read Akane Banashi.
And another one we didn't get to bring in because we don't own it, Oshino Ko is a more direct comparison of that in the acting field specifically.
All right, so that's going to do it for Wonder Man. And
And-
don't go anywhere. We're going to be right back to wrap up this
Quick
two-parter.
final thoughts, him breaking the island was a really cool shot.
We'll be right back.
Well, guys, I think you both did an exceptional job today, despite me not being on screen for any of
I
it.
mean, yeah,
Thank
this
you.
was pretty fun.
That being said, we hope you guys enjoyed this episode as much as we had making it.
If you did, feel free to leave a like, a friendly comment, share this episode with your family and friends, and subscribe to our YouTube channel with notifications on. Click the little bell for that so you don't miss any upcoming videos.
Be sure to follow us on Facebook, Threads, Instagram, Snapchat, Twitch. Join our Discord server. Become a member on our Patreon for just $1 per month to access exclusive content you can't get anywhere else. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time,
Good night, everybody.
and Happy New Year.
We're back with we're back with start
Cut.
over. Start
Cut.
over.
Were you thinking of Piccolo's sterling gaze?
I think I was.
Hey, Macarena, Macarena, Macarena.
All right, let's just-
Sonic and the Hedgehog, Twitter, Macarena. Everybody was kung fu fighting. See this guy? His name is Piccolo. I should have done that when you were on camera.
Duh.
Recording, it was on camera.
Oh God.
We're not.
That's gonna be on that's gonna be a Patreon blooper.
No, just because you said that, we're putting it in the main video too at the end.
Okay, good.
Or will we?